Welcome to Review and Tutorials. Today's game is I Nima demo. This psycho horror and interactive telling game was made by H0 Games. You are a child who doesn't know who they are, and are trying to figure it out. After this sequence, which basically already puts a good mood for the game, you start in a basement, fixated on a chair while a pair of eyes is watching you. After analyzing the situation in the room and the stranger talking to you, you're getting the game a little more explained. On the right side you have your brain, where words are popping up either through exploring or talking with characters like the stranger. So we have these two words we can combine. We made mom out of it. On the left side you're getting all the words you already discovered, and if you press on one you're getting it back. So, and now if you want to use one, you drag it down and basically press on here. On this little window is basically always saying what's happening right now. So, this stranger wants us to call her mom. Which now worked because I pressed on it. This person explains stuff like we are her daughter or she is our mom. She got us food, getting out of the basement, and now something is popping up, a little text that looks a little bit different in case of writing and sizes. It also is a little bit hostile, but not to us. She comes back with the food and places it in front of us. And let me be serious. Look at that food. That is food? That is not food. That is some slop you got put together. You can see a piece of vegetable and a piece of fish bone. This is basically disgusting. And smells like hell. My mother asked us a question about an accident and wants to find out what we basically remember about it. But because we just woke up, we don't really have anything to say to that. Also, she's forcing us to live now in the basement until we heal up. The voice appears and basically tells us that we should do what she says and that we will be free. Which is already basically putting us in a weird situation because apparently we are not alone in this body. She asked us a question for the start about what it feels like with the food. But she's not looking for basically any answer, but for a certain one. So now we can connect stuff. Basically the easiest thing to say is saying ew. Because that's what I feel like about that. But strangely our character is even eating it. Which is even more disgusting. Even the voice is not liking it. And the weirdest thing is basically that her cooking is not improved, which makes me curious about what we ate it before. After that, she's asking what we remember. But nothing really came out. We don't know anything. Then she gives us a little bit of explanation by saying what apparently happened. But because we don't remember, she's basically avoiding what happened, or more like asking us about. But we're getting a turn to ask her. By a little combination of like swimming and pain, you're getting basically rock, blood, pain, river, and by asking things like here swimming, you can figure out what happened. To give you a little short combination, because it takes longer to find it out. Apparently the story is that we were swimming against her will in a river and hit a rock. Hit a rock. Yeah, we hit a rock that put us in a coma. Which basically now explains this situation, but she is refusing to answer that. After the last question you can answer out of 3, you're getting carried back into the sleeping room. That lovely cutscene, which get played after you're getting carried back into your sleeping room, is basically if that's all. It looks like we are not alone in our body. And to be honest, this is really it didn't make sleeping alright. So you're now getting in the second location of this game. Your sleeping room. Where you can look around on any objects to get clues. Like clicking on here, you're getting the clue about your dad, the memory, which could make you connect stuff. This is really something you should do, because you can leave the room by clicking on the door. But if you do that, the next question starts. So gather everything you can find in here and combine everything to basically get as many clues as you can get. Like I'm doing right now. So basically, if you're now interested in if you gathered everything you want to know, you're gonna leave through the door. The game asks you before you're doing it if you want to leave. So after you left the room, you're getting strapped back in the chair, and this time the questions are different. Bringing in items and wants us to know what we feel about that. For the first thing, she brings in a blood shark, and if you watched it, if you watched in the room, it's basically an... that didn't work like I wanted to be. So, it was from the aquarium that we visit. So that's the right answer for this, the trip. We're talking about the trip, and after that we're getting the second item. The second item looks like a weird fossil, but the inside looks familiar with a certain cutscene we saw earlier. And here's the tricky part. You can choose any answer you think yourself is correct, like here the river. And at the first look, everything is alright, like we gave the right answer to the mother's place. But after some time, our character starts to talk about stuff that apparently happens in the past. Like that we cleaned up for her, that we were her assistant. And our mom doesn't like that. The voice even tries us to stop, but we're not really stopping. But the mom is basically talking about apparently a lesson and that we did something. And the voice is basically really trying to stop us from talking, which doesn't work. In the end, she's basically believing we are not Nima, which is the bad decision. She put us back in the room, but this time it's different. By the voice basically saying that we failed, Emma showed up in the room. She basically put drugs in us that should not cause She put drugs in us so that we cannot move and should be sleeping, which didn't work because we can see her, but we cannot move. Amata is basically saying that Amata is saying that we shouldn't blame ourselves because she made a mistake, and now is here to correct us. Which we encounter with a lovely utter cutscene. This one. And to be honest, that cutscene always triggers a core memory about this lovely scene. So after that you're getting put into the menu and the demo is basically over. That's the only ending existing. The environment, gameplay and story fits great together, so I give this demo a thumbs up and I'm getting excited to play the full game. We don't really have an announcement when the game is coming out, but I would say probably at the end of the year. I thank you all for joining the video and see you all the next time. Bye bye.